day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright, it made me swoon. Our love is like a...
Well, hello there. How are you? Today I've already prepped my face with Lievre Blanc shaving oil. And my razor is going to be this Lord two-piece razor with the blue handle. And in there, I have, on its first use, a Daxton. It's a blade from China, but I've had good luck with it before. And it comes from Family Dollar, dollar stores here in the United States. And, let's see, my soap over here is going to be this, the vintage Colgate Cup Soap, new old stock, never used puck of soap. And Randy Wright from Polar Shaving has said that this version was before they changed the formula. This version here, I'll kind of hold them up side by side here, the old and the newer one, and this is also discontinued. The one that says shaving mug soap, Randy said was after they changed the formula. And so this older puck should lather up better. Now, I've already, by the way, just to reiterate, the older version is called Colgate Cup Soap. The newer version was called Colgate Shaving Mug Soap. So you might want to keep that in mind if you see those on Etsy or eBay, actually. Let's see, where was I? I've already somewhat lathered up my Polar Shaving brush by Frank Shaving. And this is a synthetic one with a longer handle. And it was reasonably priced. I got this some time ago. I'm going to wet this brush just a tiny little bit. Just a little bit here, if I can do it right. And hopefully that's enough. I'll go ahead and try to get a lather started here. We'll see how this soap works, and I hope you're all doing well out there. So here we go. It wasn't so much that I had trouble getting a lather from the newer version of this soap, but that lather would dissipate on the face. So let's see if I have the same experience with this soap that Randy did, with this version hopefully not dissipating as much. I soaped or bloomed this soap just a little bit. I guess technically you couldn't call it blooming it because this soap has no fragrance left after all these years. And even when it did have a fragrance, I think it was just a mild soapy scent. Maybe nothing to write home about, so to speak, but I'm getting some kind of lather going here, and it doesn't appear to be dissipating on my face. So let's see how this goes using this two-piece LordRazor. I'll wipe my hands off a bit and get going here for the first pass, which will be with the grain. Oh, excuse me. Had 3 Mountain Dews before I started all this, so I might start belching or heaven knows what. Yeah, we'll get started here. I had good luck with these Chinese Daxton blades, as they're called, in another razor before. I hope I can have a repeat performance in this razor. I've always kind of liked this razor. It was very inexpensive. In fact, I think it may have been given to me by the elder owner, I think, of Shoebox Shave Shop online. If he was still alive and still running the company at that time. His son has it now. I believe it's his son that has that company now. So far, so good. And soon we will have a shaving brush for this channel, or at least that's the plan. Ming Lee, who owns, he's the proprietor of Frank Shaving that also makes Randy Wright's Polar Shaving Group brushes. He's making a conversational shaving brush, and he's going to send me a sample. And okay, let me go ahead and rinse this razor. Gee, there was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember what it was. Maybe it'll come to me. About a day's worth of growth here, and no overhang on this razor. This is just the ends of the metal cap there. A mild to standard aggression on this razor. Nothing too aggressive. Oh, I know what I was going to say. In moving things from one apartment to another and all that, I accidentally broke my thing that normally holds my phone and hence my camera up here. So I have it balanced on the track where the doors slide back and forth on my medicine cabinet. So you might be seeing me with without what they call in television headroom. In television, you're supposed to have about, yay amount of space between the top of your head and the top of the screen, you see, but I have to step way back here for that. So sometimes you might only see me like this. Hi, how's it going? But at least you can see me shave. So until I get another thing to hold the thing on there, you know, yeah. Went and had some Chinese food with a neighbor earlier. It was the cat's meow, let me tell you. I liked it so well I decided to use Chinese blades, or a blade in this. So far so good. But I kid our Chinese friends. I love everybody, excuse me. I purchased and sent out some belated Christmas presents because due to my haphazard and ultimately, I guess you could call it a failed moving experience, and the fact that I bought myself a lot of my own Christmas presents that were oddly enough shaving related. I didn't have a lot of money at Christmas to buy friends and loved ones shaving. I mean Christmas presents. But at least one of them got something shaving related. It's a long story. I still have other people out there that I owe my firstborn to that have been so nice to me. And if you're new to the channel and you don't know what I'm talking about, it would be good to go look at some of my previous videos where I talk about what's going on in my life. And the short version is I tried to move somewhere else and it ultimately didn't work out. Me and the roommate didn't get along, I guess. Well, anyway, I'm going to pop out, pop back in, and I will be here freshly lathered, or so is the plan, and then I will do that second pass across the grate. No dissipation on this soap so far, but I did have to go back to the puck and lather a little bit more for this second pass across the grain. So No complaints though. For a soap that could be 40 or 50 years old, it works pretty good. Is anybody else out there glad the holidays are over? The holidays I found to be very stressful. I'm just now getting some of my stuff back from that attempted and ultimately aborted move. All right. Yes, it's nice to come to you each week from here in the Riviera of the upper Midwest. And we've had pretty warm weather for January, although it does cool off after sunset, and it's actually pretty chilly outside now. Otherwise, I'd be coming to you from outside, bare-chested, in some swim trunks, right? Sure. No one needs to see that. Let's see, I think I bought one of these razors. One has a red handle and says Racer on the cap. This is essentially the same razor with a blue handle and it says Lord on the cap. But not bad for a $7 razor, or possibly one that I was given free for putting in an order. It was either the father that started that company, Shoebox Shaving, or it could have been the son trying to liquidate some of the older products they had there, but or get rid of, not liquidate necessarily, not just liquidate, but because I put in orders with them, I was given several free odds and ends, many of which I very much enjoyed. Well, time to pop out, pop back in, freshly lathered, I hope, for a third pass against the grain. Well, third pass against the grain. I've been lathering on my pretty little scuttle here, this one here this time, with some hot water in there, and there's the puck of soap in there. And yeah, the puck, the more I lather it, the more it kind of comes back to life, I think, and no appreciable dissipation of the lather on my face, so that's good. Here I go, third pass, and I'll start on the neck this time. I don't remember going across the grain on my neck. I hope I did that. If I didn't, I apologize. Sometimes I almost forget to do that. I don't know. I remember I started to, but I don't know. Yeah, excuse me. Before I got started here, like I said, I had 3 Mountain Dews, and that soda has a lot of caffeine in it, or pop, or whatever you want to call it. So I may be wired for sound and a little jittery and not thinking too clearly. But I'm that way anyway. Okay, you know, for a channel that is also supposed to be dedicated to the lost art of conversation, there could possibly, maybe, be times when I set the art of conversation back, a few thousand years, and if so, I apologize. There's a difference between conversation and somebody like me, perhaps, at times, just running off at the mouth, you know? So I'll be quiet for a minute. And I'll use my indoor voice. Okay, well, I'm going to pop out, but I'll be right back for pickups. Okay, it's pickup time. Right there. It's pickup time, ladies and gentlemen, when we do our pickups or touch-ups. And usually just under the chin and on the neck area here. And yes, I don't know if you can tell, but I got some little weepers up here, but hopefully some cold water will take care of that when I rinse off. Yes, oddly enough, I am still enjoying these Daxton blades that I was telling you about. Still enjoying this. It's pretty good. And this is the second or third razor I've tried those blades in. Okay, I'm not going to go too crazy here. Oops, just put that anywhere. Maybe just a little crazy. But this is, well, at least a darn fine shave and very, very close to BBS. Very nice. I guess I can always find something wrong with it, but really pretty nice. There is something right here, though, that's kind of bugging me. The only thing is I don't want to overdo it because I do tend to get irritation down here. In fact, I might have some left over from another shave. Okay, that's it for the shaving. I'll be back. I'll dry off, and then I'll start some recaps, and I'll put the finishing touches on this shave. Here's Mr. Towel to help us dry off here. Wow. Cold water is particularly cold this time of year. But let's see. Hopefully it got rid of those weepers that were right in here. And I try not to go too crazy going against the grain above my upper lip. That can also be a source of some trouble if I overdo it. And we'll put Mr. Towel back where he goes, and then I'll start some recaps here. Tell you what we've used so far. Okay, excuse me again. Well, I started off beforehand, off camera. I prepped my face with some Lievre Blanc shaving oil. The vendor of this on Etsy, I believe he's taking a break right now and has no products available, but if it's like in the past, he'll be back soon, or at least at some point, with more product, more of the same. Okay, and my razor has been this Lord, there it says Lord on the cap, 2-piece razor, plastic razor with a metal cap, aluminum I think, possibly. And, let's see here, my soap has been some of this vintage, new, old stock Colgate Cup Soap. And my brush was this Frank Shaving. It says Frank Shaving, I believe. Well, Polar Shaving, but it's made by Frank Shaving, by Ming Lee's company. Handmade the Polar Shaving brush, reminiscent of Randy Wright's YouTube channel and Facebook group, Polar Shaving. Got the polar bear there, you see. And, let's see, what else? And I had lathered up in my pretty little scuttle, which I once thought was one of a kind, but I've seen several with this same pattern online available for purchase. And I forgot to mention, well, I dropped the tuck here, but here it is. On its first use was one of these Daxton double-edged blades from China, available at Family Dollar stores in the United States for $1 plus tax. And okay, I think that's everything so far. So now I'm going to apply some of this T.N. Dickinson's Witch Hazel, which is available at places like Walmart in the United States and online. So I'll set that aside. Get some of that going. This is 14% alcohol by volume, so a mild astringent. There could be some sting, but it'd also be good feedback for me to see how I did here. Yeah, there's a little bit of sting. Not too bad, though. Get that all over my face and neck there. Dry the hands off and proceed on to the next thing, which is going to be some aftershave, which kind of smells like Brute aftershave, but this is the cheap version. I think it's about $2.50, $3.50 at Family Dollar stores, the Daxton aftershave. So I'll put some of that on. For the price, it's not too bad. And I'll get some of that going in my hands, put a little on the wrists, behind the ears, on the temples, back of the neck, and here we go. Now there's more sting to that, which tells me two things. Tells me that there's a lot of alcohol in it, but also that it's doing its job as an astringent, a bacteria killer, and yeah. and it smells nice. Probably not exactly as nice as Brute, but it has a scent reminiscent of Brute. Okay, and then one more thing and we're off to the races, or we're done, I should say. I'm going to finish with the Nivea Men Sensitive Post-Shave Balm. And unscrew the cap there. Oh, that's more than enough right there in my hand. Get that going. It's way more than I needed because a little bit of this stuff goes a long way. Pretty good stuff. Oh, that is nice. So I'm done here. I hope you enjoyed the shave. I hope you'll come back and join me next week. And lovely shave. I enjoyed it. And I hope you did too. Peace.